All right, so we are 3 days away from UFC 294, which is an amazing card. It takes place this Saturday. It starts at 10 a.m. actually because it's in Abu Dhabi, so it's an early card. And what an amazing event! Really, I think it went from a great event to being an amazing event. I personally, it's bittersweet. One of the changes because of the lack of because of the short notice, but overall I like the changes that happened last week to it. So let's get to it. It's Islam Makhachev versus Alexander Volkanovski, the rematch. Um, like I said on my Instagram channel, ever since that first fight ended, I wanted to see the rematch. I was hoping we would get an immediate rematch when the first fight ended, just because of how it ended. And now we get this rematch, but we get it with a short notice for Volkanovski. If you go watch the first fight right now, I'm pretty sure it's in YouTube right now, or I think I saw it. If you go sit down and watch it, and you're 100% unbiased, you will agree with me that the only rounds that you can 100% give to Volkanovski are rounds 3 and 5, and nobody will discuss that. But rounds 1, 2, and 4, I think Makhachev won. I think Makhachev won those rounds. I agreed round 2 was competitive, where it was back and forth, but I still think Makhachev did a smidge better to take the round. Not only that, but I have my own personal rule that if a round is 50-50, like you really don't know who to give it to, I say give it to the champion. I think they've earned that for being the champion. But anyways, I don't think it was 50-50. I think Makhachev did a little bit better by round 2 by landing a punch on Volkanovski. They kind of rocked him. In the first fight, Volkanovski made me... So I picked Makhachev to win by submission, round 3. I was convinced that we were going to see a complete domination by Makhachev. I was thinking, this guy tosses around other lightweights like nothing, and he's going to struggle with Volkanovski coming from 145. I did not think that was even an option. And then if you look at how the fight played out, other than the one time Makhachev lost years ago where he got knocked out, Volkanovski has done better than any other fighter Makhachev has fought. Like, Volkanovski did better than Charles Oliveira, Dan Hooker, Bobby Green, which is crazy, right? So I had to, even though I picked Makhachev to win the first one, and technically my pick was correct, I still had to eat a lot of words because I thought it was going to be a one-sided beatdown. I was surprised when Makhachev was not able to impose his grappling the way he normally does. And it's one thing that even Makhachev made that comment in the press conference. He was like, I did not expect Volkanovski to be able to defend against his grappling. And yeah, I was surprised too by that, how good Volkanovski did. And now for this fight, Makhachev last fight is the one against Volkanovski, and Volkanovski last fight is against Yair Rodriguez, which I'm not even gonna take that one into consideration because Volkanovski destroyed Yair Rodriguez. It wasn't competitive, other than a few punches here and there that Yair Rodriguez landed. It was a complete beatdown by Volkanovski. I think he got a ground and pound TKO round 3. But like I said, I can't use that fight as a reference because Makhachev doesn't fight anything like Yair Rodriguez. Yair Rodriguez is more of a striker versus Islam being a grappler. So for this fight, here's the thing, right? Volkanovski couldn't beat Makhachev in Australia with the full camp. I just don't see how he beats Makhachev now in Abu Dhabi with 12 days notice. And to me, there is a difference between being in fight shape into being just in shape and being in fight shape. I think Volkanovski can be in shape all the time, but in fight shape specifically for an upcoming fight, only he knows, right? I don't know. His fans don't know. Only Volkanovski and his coaches know if he truly is 100% for this fight. Which is what bugs me about the short notice, because even though I was talking shit about how he has a excuse already, assuming he loses, it's a legitimate excuse. Like, even if Volkanovski indeed... So I'm picking Makhachev to win, right? So even if Volkanovski loses, I'm still going to say, well, he took it in short notice. So it's the thing. Nobody knows, really. Only Volkanovski knows if he's at 100% or who knows, right? So, but yeah, I think coming into this fight, Makhachev, knowing that he was not able to completely out-grapple Volkanovski, I think his game plan might be different. If you go watch the first fight, Makhachev landed round 1, round 2. I don't know, I can't remember round 5, but round 1 and round 2, he landed a shot on Volkanovski that had Volkanovski rocked for a few seconds, where he was wobbled for a few seconds. So I think if they've done their homework and they've watched footage, they know that, okay, I'm powerful enough to hit this guy and hurt him. And I think that might be the approach, instead of focusing too much on the grappling, where, I can hit this guy and I can hurt him and maybe drop him and then submit him. So I'm picking Makhachev to win again I'm gonna go with the TKO round 2 or 3 for Makhachev. Or it could also be that he drops him and then jumps on him and submits him. But I think knowing that he is not able to completely out-grapple Volkanovski, his gameplay will be different. And he'll get the win. Combined with the fact that, I'm a 12 days notice for Makhachev is not easy. But yeah, we shall see. We'll see what happens. And then we have Usman versus Chimaev. This is it's crazy, right? I think this is the first time. No, it's the second time. I actually picked Usman to lose against Edwards. The second time they fought. And now I'm picking. I think this is the second time I picked Usman to lose. I'm going with Chimaev. So let's see. So Chimaev is coming from absolutely destroying Kevin Holland. It wasn't a fight, because this was not a back and forth anything. It was a complete, total domination from Chimaev. It was like professional versus amateur. It was basically, it lasted 2 minutes. Chimaev went in there 5 seconds into the fight, takes him down. Kevin Holland is able to defend himself for a couple minutes, but eventually Chimaev submits him with I think it was an anaconda choke. I can't remember. Before that, he had a very competitive fight with Gilbert Burns. Usman is coming from losing to Leon Edwards. A very competitive fight. But even with the point taken away from Edwards, he still won unanimous. I can't remember exactly which round I gave to who, but I don't remember agreeing with the decision. I think Edwards just looked way better. I'm picking Chimaev again. I think Usman has peaked. I think we have seen the best of Usman, and it's gone. Either he's the same Usman that we saw against Edwards both times, or maybe because of his age. How old is he now? 36. He might be time where he's kind of slowing down. I think Chimaev, it's still young enough where we can argue we're going to see a better version of Chimaev. Not only that, but it's a middleweight where he was preparing to fight a really strong guy in Costa. I think in the middleweight division, it's just going to favorite Chimaev on this one. I don't think Usman will be able to out-grapple him, and I don't think he'll be able to outstrike him. And being that it's 3 rounds, I don't think we're going to see... Being that it's 3 rounds, and Usman is also taking this on short notice, I don't see the risk of Chimaev gassing. And the fact that it's on middleweight, so he doesn't cut all that weight anymore. I don't see Chimaev gassing, getting outstruck. getting out grappled or out muscled. I really don't see where Usman is the better fighter. I just don't. I think Chimaev is better, and I think maybe knockout power. Maybe I'll give it to Usman. He has more of a. I can see him having the ability to land harder punches. Or actually, I don't even know, because other than Masvidal, I don't think I've seen Usman do that before. But I got Chimaev by decision. I don't think he'll be able to finish Usman, but at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised. But Chimaev by decision. Ankalaev versus Walker. I have Ankalaev all day. Walker is coming from beating Anthony Smith in a very decent, dominant fight. I mean, it wasn't a beatdown, but it was dominant where there is no discussion that Walker won that fight. Yeah, I think Walker is kind of like I think he's a solid top 10, but that's it. I don't think he'll ever be able to beat like the big dogs of that division, like the elite, the top 5, and I think Ankalaev is one of them. I can definitely see Walker landing something. I give her a puncher's chance because he hits hard and he lands crazy, flashy stuff, but I just think Ankalaev is much superior overall, more well-rounded. He can grapple. And Walker gets hit and gets rocked every time he does. So I think eventually Ankalaev will connect and will knock him out. And Walker might make it a competitive first round, but I think eventually once Ankalaev figures him out, he'll knock him out. So Ankalaev, TKO round 2. And then the other one that I was interested in is in Silva versus Bruno Silva versus Sharabuddin. So Silva's coming from fighting Brendan Allen. A very fun fight, fun and competitive. But eventually Allen dropped him with punches, secured position and submitted him. This guy, Sharabuddin, whatever, for what I've seen on YouTube, because I saw a couple of his fights that lasted, a round. This guy looks like a monster, a Dagestani guy who, unlike the vast majority of them who are grapplers, he seems to have that same level, but in the striking, which is a scary thing, I think he's going to make an impressive debut this Saturday and get a knockout in the first round. I think he's going to go there to make a statement like, hey, tell the division, I'm here. So I have Sharabuddin, however his name is, it's a weird name, by TKO round 1. So I have Makhachev by TKO round 2. Could also be a submission. Chimaev by decision. He could also land a knockout punch. Ankalaev TKO round 2, and Sharabuddin by knockout round 1. And I'll be posting my entire picks on my Instagram on Friday. All right, guys, have a good one.